I'm about to show you how to turn a messy hour-long recording into a stack of ready-to-post short videos, and I promise it won't take you days in the editing suite. If you're a creator who's been manually scrubbing, clipping, and hunting for that one quote that will actually go viral, then you absolutely need to stick around for this. By the way, I'm Alex, and I specialize in creating efficient workflows for people who are tired of editing burnout. Hit subscribe right now if you want more practical tools and workflows that will genuinely save you hours every single week. First, let's have a quick reality check about the old-school method of turning long videos into social clips. The traditional route is honestly brutal when you look at the sheer amount of repetitive work involved. You import your raw footage into Premiere or Final Cut, which is step one in a multi-hour marathon. Then you have to scrub through 60 or 90 minutes of content just to find the interesting parts. You'll be slapping on markers, creating new sequences, and meticulously tweaking in and out points for every single clip. Next comes the chore of tweaking the audio levels, and maybe doing some light color correction on each segment. After that, you export it multiple times for different aspect ratios, like vertical for Reels and horizontal for YouTube. Finally, you manually open your scheduler, or each native platform, to upload every single file individually. This entire process, repeated for multiple episodes or channels, scales into a soul-crushing full-time job. If you even enjoy editing, this isn't a good use of your creative time when your main job is actually creating original content. Let me walk you through two distinct workflows so you can clearly see the difference between old and new. The first is the traditional route that most of us unfortunately started with, full of manual effort. The second is a modern approach using an AI tool that automatically finds viral clips and handles all the editing for you. I want to be completely candid about what the AI tool does well, and where classic editing tools still hold undeniable value. Think of this as an honest friend, showing you a much faster path, not just a heavily polished sales pitch. Let's detail the old workflow. It all starts right after you finish shooting an interview or a long live stream. You immediately load that massive raw file into your primary editing software, like Premiere Pro. Your main task now is to listen intently for punchlines, engaging stories, or those incredibly teachable moments. You place markers, manually create sequences, and constantly tweak those in and out points until it feels right. Then you have to export a vertical version for TikTok and Reels, a clean horizontal for YouTube, and maybe a square one for Facebook. After rendering, you open your separate scheduling tool or log into native apps to upload everything one by one. You must write unique captions, select custom thumbnails, and manually choose the optimal time to post for each platform. Why does this process suck? Because it's incredibly time-consuming and highly repetitive work. It's also fragile. If your audio suddenly spikes or your camera files are slightly out of sync, you lose half an hour troubleshooting. If you manage multiple episodes a week, this manual process immediately becomes the single biggest production bottleneck. Yes, Premiere is powerful, giving you frame-perfect control, but that power often translates directly into complexity. DaVinci Resolve is amazing for professional color grading and advanced workflows, but it's not built for speed clipping. Final Cut Pro is fast and slick if you are dedicated to the macOS ecosystem, but still demands manual clipping for social volume. For creators who prioritize volume and speed over deep post-production, these industry-standard tools are simply overkill for this task. Now, let me introduce you to the modern approach: automated editing, designed specifically for high-volume creators. Imagine dropping that same hour-long file into a tool that instantly scans the entire recording for you. This AI then finds the memorable moments, trims them into snackable, engaging clips, and prepares them for posting. That is the core function of the auto-editing viral clips feature in tools like Vizard. The AI intelligently looks for peaks in audio energy, unexpected topic shifts, and natural laughter cues. It finds everything a human editor uses to decide what content is genuinely worth keeping for social shares. It then creates these clips formatted perfectly, often with vertical, horizontal, and square aspect ratios ready to go. Here's the first part of the new workflow. Import the long video and click the auto edit function. Then you simply watch the tool analyze your entire session in just a matter of minutes. It will present you with a whole batch of ready-made clips, often with captions already added by the system. You can quickly review everything, make minor tweaks to any edit, and then approve it for export. That is truly it. No more timeline wrestling, and no more manual exports tailored for every single platform. This approach saves you massive time because it automates the fiddly, repetitive parts of editing completely. Crucially, it still leaves the final creative control squarely in your hands for review and approval. The AI handles the boring grunt work, allowing you to focus on the narrative and the audience angle. But this technology doesn't stop at just the initial clipping stage. It tackles the publishing grind too. One of the most frustrating parts of publishing is constantly babysitting your social media schedule. You could make the best vertical clip ever, but if you forget to post it during peak engagement time, you lose all that momentum. Vizard's auto-schedule tool solves this by letting you set posting frequency and specific time windows in advance. The AI then queues up your clips and publishes them systematically, according to your preset publishing rules. Want 2 clips a day across TikTok and Instagram, hitting peak engagement windows? You just set it and forget it. The platform will intelligently distribute your content automatically, so you never have to log into 10 different apps. For solo creators or small teams, managing all this content organization is often half the battle. Vizard's content calendar pulls all your generated clips into one easily manageable central dashboard. You can drag and drop publish dates, quickly edit those captions, and swap out thumbnails all in one place. This centralized approach cuts down on spreadsheet juggling, drafts across platforms, and those inevitable late-night panic moments. Now, let's compare this to the specialized tools. I use Premiere and Resolve for my heavy creative projects. When I need perfect audio syncing, multicam editing, or complex color grading, those tools remain absolutely indispensable. However, for the daily grind of transforming long-form content into dozens of short social clips, they feel incredibly clumsy. Premiere's timeline offers exact control, but it forces you to manually execute every single time-consuming part of the process. DaVinci Resolve is brilliant for color and finishing touches, but its learning curve is simply too steep for high-volume clipping. General social schedulers will handle distribution, but none of them will intelligently find the viral moments that people actually watch. That is the precise hole that an AI tool like Vizard fills. It blends intelligent clip selection with automated distribution. You effectively skip the entire time-consuming middleman stage between raw footage and final posting. Honestly, if you are an indie creator, the cost of premium software plus hiring a clipper usually outweighs this automated solution. Let me give you a real-world example of how I personally leveraged this just last week. I had a standard 90-minute podcast episode that I needed to repurpose for social channels. In the past, that task would have easily consumed 4 to 6 hours of my valuable time pulling clips. With the automated tool, it produced a batch of over 20 usable clips in about 15 minutes total. I then spent a few extra minutes reviewing, trimming a couple, and setting the captions for the next 2 weeks. The result was a steady drip of fresh content, keeping my engagement metrics alive without me being chained to my editing desk all day. 2 of those AI-suggested clips actually hit better than average retention rates and brought new eyes to the full episode. However, we must be realistic. Artificial intelligence is certainly not some kind of magic wand. Sometimes the AI picks up a technical hiccup or a noisy segment that looks good algorithmically but isn't truly shareable. It may also not choose the absolute highest performing thumbnail or perfectly nail your unique brand voice on the very first try. But that's perfectly fine, because the goal is to remove 80 to 90% of the pure grunt work for you. This frees up your human touch to be applied where it truly matters: strategy, nuance, and the final creative sign-off. Here are a few quick professional tips to maximize this new efficiency in your workflow. Tip 1. Use the AI tool for all your high-volume content to rapidly test what resonates with your audience. Tip 2. Keep Premiere or Resolve handy for those crucial flagship edits that require absolute deep-level polish. Tip 3. Let auto-schedule handle peak windows, but manually override it occasionally to maintain a human, natural rhythm. Tip 4. Leverage the content calendar to batch plan your themes across an entire month for consistency. This batch planning makes your content feel coherent and strategic, rather than just completely random pieces sent out randomly. To wrap this up, if you are still clipping everything manually, you are actively wasting hours you could spend creating. Tools like this aren't meant to replace editors. They are designed to free creators from the most repetitive, draining tasks. They help you scale your output dramatically without having to sacrifice the quality your audience expects. If growth is your primary goal this year, this workflow integration is an absolute necessity. I challenge you right now to try this AI method on just a single episode and honestly measure the time you save. Even if you end up using Premiere for the final polish, I guarantee Vizard will become your default for pure speed and volume. If you want a deep dive video on my exact settings or how I pair these clips with custom thumbnails, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this breakdown, and now go make something that people actually stop scrolling to see.